think you are?
In the words of the great Ernest P. Worrell, ew. If you're looking to build a happy and healthy relationship, science can help you do it a lot better. I'm Max Butterfield, Dr. Max Butterfield. I study this kind of thing for a living. 3 science-backed facts you should know. Number one of the very first qualities that is involved in building a happy and healthy relationship is, in fact, physical attraction. There's nothing shallow about that. That is something associated with relationship quality. However, number two, that's not nearly enough. Communication skills are also incredibly important. So it doesn't matter how attractive somebody is. If they can't communicate well or you can't communicate well with them, you are in for a world of hurt. And then finally, number three, value match. So if that person values money a great deal more than you do, you're probably not going to have a good time. If they value work above all else, you are probably not going to have a good time. Figuring out those values quickly is a very important skill. If you would like to learn that skill, I can help you do it. Follow me for more and check out future videos on that topic. Look on my profile. Maybe you'll find them right now. There's no way of knowing until you look.
I think when men make more money, their dating pool opens up. When women make more money, their dating pool shrinks. Because men don't really care about a woman's career. They don't care about a woman's status. They don't care about a woman's money. Like a super successful lawyer, he'll date a girl who, like an attractive, pleasant girl who works as a barista.
They care about the experience with the woman more than they care about what she does when she's not with him.
But as a woman, typically I think a woman who says she makes $500,000 a year, I think a lot of women who make that much money, even though they could totally, like that's so much money, they could totally take care of a guy. Even if they can do that dynamic, I don't think a lot of them want to. I think a lot of when women make, say, $500,000, they're like, okay, well, I make this much now. Now, I want a guy who makes as much as me or more. Like a female attorney, they're not going to be thinking, okay, I'm going to date a barista. No, she's an attorney. She's like, I'm going to date another attorney. I'll date a doctor. I'll date this. So I think it's a bit different.
You guys all enjoyed my story so much yesterday, I thought, why not show up with a few more reasons it sucks to be a therapist for men? Because you and I get to talk sports here and there, you know that I'm in a fantasy football league, you know the universities and professional teams that I tend to follow, which means you're roasting me when those teams aren't performing very well. I know so many amazing dudes who are looking for relationships, have stable, secure attachment styles, who have done the work, and I can't set them up with my friends. Y'all are always showing up on time for your appointments. I'm usually on time. I work really, really hard to never be late, but I have to be on time. I get it. If you're on time, you're already late, right? Like, I appreciate it. I can respect that. My husband was a military brat, but I absolutely have to be on extra good time because y'all are never late. I can never move or add anything to my office or my lobby without you clocking it. I respect the attention to detail. Some may call that hypervigilance, but sometimes a girl just wants to reorganize a little bit. But so as to not disrupt your nervous system, I will keep things as they are. I can no longer respond to someone who says, "Hey, Audra, how you doing?" by saying, "I'm fine," without having so many things run through my mind. Oh, I gotta explain that. What do they think now? What do I really mean? Dudes, you've ruined that phrase for me. Without a doubt, the thing that sucks most about being a therapist for men, I get to build these awesome connections, these beautiful relationships with incredible men every single day. And then they have the nerve to go on and get better and not need me anymore, and I have to say goodbye. The worst part of my job.
I've been working, and I've been trying to be a part of my kid's life. I keep telling Miss Huey that I don't want my son to have to go through anything that I went through. She have called me from the school because he's at school acting up. And it's always the same thing. I'm the one getting blamed. Well, he get it from you, stuff like this. If he get it from me, let me correct it. All I asked you to do, she said she was having so much trouble, I asked her to let him come stay with me just for a year. Just so she can see herself. The difference. Miss Huey don't want to do that. Miss Huey told me, let me call my caseworker and see if I let them come stay with you, will my food stamps and my housing and all that change?
When did I ever say?
All this is about money when it comes to with Miss Huey. All this is money. She look at the kids as money. As a dollar sign. That's how she see the kids. She used the kids to try to manipulate me to give money. And she can't say that she hasn't. I have sent money and then talk to the kids later and ask them, did they get their money? And they ask me what money. Miss Huey takes the money now that I seen. And she act like she don't.
So are you sending the money to the children directly or to Miss Huey?
They have Cash App cards. I'm sending it to their Cash App card. And Miss Huey have access to all that.
When did you give them the Cash App cards?
No, she ordered the Cash App cards for them.
Okay.
So I can send them money.
When did she order them approximately?
I ordered Cash App cards, I think
I was asking him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's the one right now who's testifying.
I cannot really tell you when she ordered them. I know in 2020 is when I was able to start sending them money directly from me to them. Because they would call me, before then they would call me and ask for things, and I would ask them, how you gonna get it? I'm not down there, and I'm not giving your mama no money, because when I was giving her money, she was giving it to her boyfriend. I don't know what happened between them for him to call me and confide in me everything that was going on in between him and her in their relationship, but he did. That's how I found out that she was giving the money that I was sending to him, and I cut it off.
And really, honestly and truly, you see this type of behavior from a lot of modern women where they'll call the dad in for the tough stuff because the dad can handle that type of stuff. Usually, right? He can handle that. He'll whip the kid into shape. You'll actually hear them say, I'm gonna send you to your dad's. And that's because they know dad's gonna whip him into shape. And some of these kids be like, yeah, send me to my dad's. But what usually happens in those situations is when the kid starts acting right, then the mom will take the kid back, thinking that, oh, the kid's just gonna act right, whatever it was, he just had to get whatever it was out. And I'm gonna leave the baby daddy to handle that sort of stuff. But what you don't realize is the dad is actually whipping these kids into shape. They are acting right because of him, because of the policies, because of the structure that he's enacted in his own home. And he's just giving them that structure. When they go home to you, you're going to be all over the place. And so now, essentially what's happening is when he gets the kids back in order, then you're going to take him back. And then, okay, well, keep on giving me child support. Like he was talking about. Oh, keep on giving me food stamp. Keep on give me. That's my calling card. That's my get out of jail free card. I need that. Right? I'm not really going to be taking care of the kids. I'm really not fit to take care of the kids. But that's my get out of jail free card. I talk a lot about in some of the other videos that I've done how, you know, when you marry some of these single mothers, it should be their child, then them. The way they're making it seem is like, okay, it's my child, then it's me, and then it's you as the man coming into my life, right? But really, it's the man's still going to always be last priority, but really the child is second priority. And they continue to tell you the child is always second priority. They don't want to let you know that, but through their actions, they'll say, well, you know, I got to take care of me. How can I take care of somebody else if you know, I can't take care of me first? There was actually a woman, I think HL talked that thought. He talks about divorce a lot and how women regret divorce. And there was one woman, 37 years old, that's getting divorced. Husband finally decided, hey, I can't take this anymore. And he finally decided to leave. Hey, we got to get a divorce, right? But one of the things that she was saying when she's going through the divorce now, but one of the things that she was saying was, well, you know, I'm starting a new year. New year 2026, I'm gonna start taking care of myself because, you know, taking care of me first, because I'm gonna start being selfish, because if I don't take care of me, then how can I take care of my kids? And a whole bunch of nonsense, a whole bunch of BS, really honestly and truly, because modern women don't have any balance. So what they're going to do is put themselves first in any situation. They're going to say, send the money to me, send all the supplies to me. Whatever it is, send it to me, and then I'll trickle it down to the kids. And that's essentially what she's doing in her situation. That's what a lot of single mothers do with their baby daddies. Okay, you send me the stuff. I'll take care of myself first. I make sure that I'm good first. I make sure that my hair is done. I'll make sure that my nails are done. I make sure that anything I need to have done, I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to get the rest or spend the rest on the kids. They're in business for themselves. The kids come second and you come last. That's how they do it.
You want my number?
Yeah, I want your number.
Really? No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm so good.
You said this is your brother?
No, it's my man.
Oh.
Seriously.
Oh,
you're not gonna say nothing. You're fine if I give him my number.
I'll see.
Yeah, sure.
That was a test and you failed, bitch. Your man is not obligated to risk his health and safety every time another man wants your attention, right? It is up to you to make the decision not to give your attention to these men. What that woman should have immediately done is, this is my man, I'm getting behind him. Talk to him about it. What this woman should have done is immediately told him, get the f*** out of my face. You see that I'm here with my man, right? That's what the woman should have done. What did the woman do, though? The opposite. And ended up giving out her number. It is not your man's job to fight for you. It is your man's job to protect you. Now, if this man came up and started harassing you, then yeah, you should be looking at your boyfriend like, are you going to do something about this? But if a guy comes up and asks you to give you his phone number or vice versa, a man's not obligated to do except see what you do as a result, right? Because at the end of the day, he's not obligated to get into a fight with every man that happens to want your phone number. What he's doing is he's seeing where your loyalty lies, especially while you're right in front of his face, right? If you're willing to give out your phone number with your man right in front of your face just because he didn't say anything, then you would probably give it out no matter what. Congratulations, you failed. With that being said, the prankster is corny as hell because jokes like this are not funny. And nobody should be thinking that they're funny. You're literally ruining relationships as a joke, right? But at the same time, you can say that he's helping relationships because this man is no longer going to spend time with a woman who would willingly give her phone number out to anybody. And as a man, you should have the integrity to at least speak up, but I completely understand not speaking up if you want to see how your woman would react to something. Last I checked, I'm not allowed to speak for you, so I'm not going to put myself into a situation or insert myself somewhere that I have no business being, because if I was to step up and say something, then you would have a problem with that too. And you also have to understand the mentality that this society has, right? Because we're in a society where women aren't property, right? Which is fair. But at the end of the day, the reason why men were so meticulous on no man touching or talking to their woman is because that woman was theirs. Now we live in a society where a woman can wake up and decide she doesn't want to be yours anymore. So why would you risk your health and safety or risk going to jail for an assault over a woman that doesn't even belong to you?
And honestly, I think he did the right thing here. I like the way he's holding himself. I just put my hands in my pockets. And I'm just going to watch what you do. I really just want to see what you got going on. What you've been up to. Because I'm guaranteeing you now, if you're doing this in my face, this is something that you've been doing. You might try to make it seem like, oh, it's harmless. Ain't nothing really going on. And, oh, man, it's okay to do that, right? And really reading his body language, he's not really saying anything. I really like that. Oh, I'm just sitting up here, just observing. You know, I'm not going to say yay or nay. I just want you, basically, is what his body posture is telling you. I want you to go about doing whatever you were doing. I don't want to put no stipulations on it. I don't want you to look to me for answers. I just want to see what you're doing. I want to see what you're going to do. So then, I know how to make my decision. It was a really good job. And she did what she was going to do. So...
Unpopular opinion. Some kids don't choose their mom because they love her more. They choose her because they're scared of what happens if they don't. A lot of kids learn real early. Love in this house, it has rules. You laugh at dad's jokes, you get the cold shoulder. You get excited for dad's weekend? Now you're hurting mom. You say you miss him? Now you're ungrateful. So the child adapts. That's not loyalty. That's survival. Because kids don't have the power that adults do. They can't leave. They can't argue. They can't defend themselves in court. So they do what keeps the peace. They pick the parent whose emotions feel unsafe, because the consequences, they feel immediate. And let me say this clearly. Bullying your child into taking sides isn't co-parenting. It isn't protecting them. It's emotional. You're teaching them love is conditional. You're teaching them they have to perform to be accepted. And you're teaching them to lie about their own feelings just to stay safe. If you're the parent being pushed out, do not match that chaos. Stay steady, stay consistent, and keep your door open. Because one day, those kids are going to grow up, and they're going to remember who was safe. If this hit home, follow me. Because I'm saying things that dads are scared to say out loud.
It's really bum behavior to have to use a man to get a meal. Use a man to get your car fixed. Use a man to get some jewelry or some designer. That is just a bum activity. Baby, we cannot coexist. Users cannot rock with go-getters.
She's a 10, but she has pronouns in her Instagram bio.
You see, I regard the 1 to 10 scale as only physical, so it wouldn't technically affect that, but it would mean that you shouldn't date her seriously. You should not take her seriously in a romantic context, and you should not commit to her.
Why not?
Because clearly she doesn't align with family-oriented values, and she aligns with a gender ideology that was specifically designed to undermine the family. So, if you guys just want to have fun or have a good time and you're cool on that level, that's one thing, but you wouldn't want to marry her or date her seriously. It wouldn't work.
The more women you sleep with, the more numb you become to them. Ironically, that numbness actually makes you more attractive to certain women because you finally act attached and calm around them. So you end up in this weird loop. Because you get laid so often, you stop caring as much, and because you don't care as much, you get laid even more. On the surface, this isn't the worst thing in the world. You get laid a bunch, you don't stress about losing women, you're not worried about being single or having to find another. There's a real sense of freedom in that. But it's a freedom that isn't exactly free. The more repetitions you clock in that player loop, the harder it becomes to emotionally connect when the good ones come along. You end up hearing so many women say the same things and act the same way that you stop fully believing it. This might sound harsh, but when 30 different women have looked at you with the same eyes and told you how much you mean to them in the exact same phrasing, tone, and timing, it just doesn't hit the same way. You start thinking, you don't even like me, you just like how I make you feel right now and don't want to lose that feeling. Whether that's actually true or not, you'll never know, but that's how it feels. The more exposure you get, the more patterns you notice, and the less romantic everything starts to feel.
Trust me, watch this.
God has given men a capacity and a responsibility that women do not have, and we have to be honest about it. We can say he's not a man, he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't whatever. There's still a capacity inside of him that God did not give us as women. And one of the biggest examples that I can give of that, imagine it's raining and you're in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City or in France and it starts raining and people start selling umbrellas on the street, those $5, $10 umbrellas, they're not worth much, but they get the job done until you get home. Imagine you have that man. You have the man that gets the job done, isn't anything special, but he gets the job done. That man, no matter how little you view him, is made to handle the rain. You were not made to handle the rain, but you were made to hold up that which can handle the rain. If you didn't have that umbrella, you would come back home smelling like what you were poured on, what poured on you. When a man comes back in as that umbrella, he gets dried quickly, water repellent, it falls off of him, and no matter how equipped you thought he was, he still was built for the rain. The difference also, some of you want that Neiman Marcus umbrella. Some of you want the wood handle. Those things are heavy. And if God gave you a man like that, then you have to be the woman that can hold up that man. Because an umbrella that is not used, it can be for the rain, for the sun, it shields, it provides shade, it allows what's under it not to be touched. We are the vessel, not weaker. We are the vessel that was meant to let the one that God gave us be held up and used for what he was made. So now, as a wife, I want to say, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to sunburn. My skin's not built for that. So instead, I'm going to let the man be who he was meant to be. And if God gave me, which he did, my man's about as heavy as this table. That means God made me capable of holding him up. If my man is not doing what he was made to do, it's because I, as his wife, am not holding him up.
God created women to be a helpmate, not a hellmate, a helpmate. God saw Adam in the garden and saw it wasn't good, he was alone, so he created one to help him. She has unlocked something. You need to go back and rewatch this a couple times, because she's truly unlocked something that is so biblical that you have to watch it twice to truly understand. And if you want to learn more about Jesus, subscribe or follow right now.
And I would say that you see this a lot in a lot of different situations. A man could go to war and he still has the ability to shake it off. That's why you still have veterans living today. They do have PTSD. There have been some that have come home and they haven't quite been able to readjust. But I'd say probably for the most part, maybe not readjusting, but a man is able to kind of live in the world. He's able to shake it off enough to continue to go on. You hear this a lot from men when people say, well, how come you didn't take time to emotionally process this? Because I was built for pain. I was built for, being able to repel certain things. What I'm not built for is a constant barrage of, right? So if I go out into the elements and I get beat down by the elements, then when I get back home to where I live, I expect you to shake me off like you would an umbrella. I expect you to shake me off, shake off all of the elements. So that might be the, sun is not really going to be a problem if you're talking about an umbrella, because it does get hot, but you got to make sure that it doesn't get too hot to where it starts to melt things. So the sun could affect it in that way, but it's going to give you a pretty good amount of protection if you don't, just keep it out there for too long, right? When you're talking about rain or something like that, then thundering and lightning, you're going to be able to shake that off. And then, okay, you give him a little while, he's dry again. When you talk about hail and sleet and stuff like that, that's going to be a tougher ask. Like she said, if you want the really, really good umbrella, the heavy umbrella, and even in speaking about the elements, a lot of modern women take this umbrella and they try to make it seem like the umbrella needs to be able to handle all elements, but that's not what an umbrella is for. My standards are high. Y'all have not been able to build an umbrella that fits you. And that's why I'd rather walk out here in the elements than to be underneath an umbrella. Because this umbrella is not good at all. It is actually a good umbrella. It's the perfect umbrella for you, actually. You just keep on misusing it. Instead of drying it out, you just throw it out there. You just throw it on the ground, you step on it, you leave it at, where's my umbrella at? Oh, you left it at work again? Dang, man, now I gotta walk out with an umbrella. Or you let somebody else borrow your umbrella, and they start taking better care of it. But there's a plethora of ways that modern women don't take care of their stuff, right? And I'm glad she used the umbrella incident or the example of an umbrella, because there's a lot of things that you can do with an umbrella. An umbrella is a covering for modern women, for anybody. It's a covering. Like she said, it shields you from a lot. But if you don't take care of it, then you're going to end up in bad shape. Modern women don't know how to take care of an umbrella. They don't know how to support it. right? They step all over it. They just throw it in the closet somewhere, and they only pick it out when they need it, instead of saying, I spent a lot of money on this umbrella. What are all the things that I can use it for? I only use it for the rain, right? But you can use it for the sun. Oh, I didn't even know that. And you can use it for this. You can use it for that. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's part of your education on having a husband, on having a man, whatever tool you have. That's part of your education. Learning how to use it, learning how to make sure that it's maintained. That's part of your education. But of course, once again, modern women don't do any of that. And we can continue to go on and on and on about it because there's so many different directions you can take this example. But modern women aren't good at that.
This girl I matched with on Hinge wanted to reschedule the date the day of because she felt that we should get to know each other better. So she texted me, "Hey Marvin, sorry to do this, but I feel a little weird meeting you without getting to know you at all. Maybe we get to know each other a little better, then reschedule." So I said, "That's the point of the date, but it's okay if you're not feeling it." So she says, "Well, I should have just ghosted and bailed." And y'all know me, I'm Mr. Libra on red. That's dead. I don't give a damn. Keep that shit. Listen, man, we don't negotiate with terrorists. You not feeling me? And that's the whole point of the date, is to see if there's a chemistry. I'm not about to argue with no woman. I'm not about to go back and forth. I'm not about to prove myself to no woman. Gentlemen, this is how you handle it when you have an abundance of options. You don't even respond to the stupidity. This is not worth my effort. It wasn't even really worth me even reading or opening the message. I'll leave them on red, man. Keep it pushing. Next. These girls are not worth the stress. They literally will come into your life and try to add anxiety. Try to add so much unnecessary stress. Whenever you get this much friction, especially early on, you gotta cut the losses, man. Why would I even want to go on a date with a girl that the day of, you not having doubt? We could have built some chemistry yesterday. You wasn't thinking about this yesterday? There's a Bible verse. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I never want to deal with a woman that has the inability to know whether or not she wants to meet me in person to see if we actually have a connection. That is a waste of my time. The human experience was made just for that. To be in person, connecting, seeing if there's a bond. Women that do not want to get to that point, stop wasting your time. It's trust fund baddies only, man. I do not stress over nothing. When it comes to these women, it's too many to choose from.
Sis, can I share something with you? If your husband can't correct you about your behavior, a situation, or something that you're doing without you going, well, what about you? You're the problem. Why? Because it is your husband's job, his responsibility to correct you, to give you directions, to let you know how things are supposed to be ran in his home. Because remember, he's the head of the home. And if you don't believe that that is right, that means that you are in rebellion against God and you need to repent. Stop fighting your husband in a role that he was given to him by God. In all actuality, most of the suggestions that he's giving you should be instructions. And if your husband can only give you suggestions, you are in error and need to repent once again. So get off this whole thing about what about you. The point is you should be focused on you. Get yourself together first, and then everything else will fall in line. Remember that today and carry on.
Black women are the most single, and we have the biggest women, most overweight, most obese. Again, whether you want to use BMI or not, we can look with our two eyes. Y'all really got to stop playing with us on that. You think I want to say that? No. You think people are making it up? No, we can see it with our own eyes. This is like, well, Black women really aren't that big. No, yeah, you are. We have the most single women. We have the biggest women. I think they intersect. Ladies, you will not fix the single problem as a whole until you fix the body, attitude, and mindset problem. Today, we're just focusing on the body. But until you fix the body, attitude, and mindset problem, you're not going to fix the single problem. Okay. When you have all three of those things, body, attitude, and mindset, you're damn near a unicorn. Bam, results. Exactly. It's not complex, but a lot of women are making this very hard. I don't like that for you, ladies. A lot of you making this too hard. All right.
What they found is males, when they are under stress, their bodies upregulate a hormone called dopamine, which moves them into action. Females, when they are experiencing stress, their bodies upregulate a hormone called norepinephrine, which causes them to think or focus or ruminate more.
Wow.
Yep. There is not a cross effect. Okay, this always observed in males, the dopamine, always observed in females, the norepinephrine. Well, think about a stressful situation. If in a stressful situation you think about it but you never act, you don't solve the problem. If you act without thinking about it, you always make the problem worse.
It's fascinating.
God literally designed males and females to respond to stress together, to balance, so that there would be an appropriate response.
If you hurt your partner, you lose the ability to control the consequences. You never have a criminal that's convicted and tells the judge the restitution that he's willing to make. Your partner has to determine what that restitution is and what that restitution looks like. I think it is wise and humble to be able to say to your partner, listen, I hurt you. I did it. I was wrong. Please forgive me and let me know the restitution that's needed to repair us. What does restitution look like for you?
50 years of child support fraud, and I bought the receipts. Baby. They still been operating under these same procedures for the last 50 years. Look, here's the receipts. Under 45 CFR 303.5, mandatory cooperation. Do they follow their own procedures? Nope. Under 42 USC 658A, those federal incentives. Does it violate your right to due process? Yep. This ain't about the kids. This is about collections. They say that you owe them child support. I say that they owe us the truth. I actually bumped that. Y'all talking about reparations? Man, forget them reparations. Let's get rid of these incentives and watch how fast everything changes.
Just know what you're up against when you deal with a lot of these modern women.
I tell people before, they're like, oh, you hate all men. I'm like, I've never said that, but if the shoe fits, wear it. I don't give a But also, yeah, don't you? Haven't you ever spent time with one? They're awful. Like, have you ever seen a group of guys out, like all straight dudes, and they're all laughing? Have you ever been like, God, I wonder what they're laughing at? No. When they're laughing, I'm going, the are they doing? Something bad, probably.
I'm like, they probably just hit a woman.
They're probably high-fiving over a slur.
I wonder if you said, every time I see a bunch of women laughing, I think they're up to no good. They're either cheating, they're on their phone doing something scandalous, they're disrespecting men, they're trying to figure out how to take advantage of men. How do you think that Drew Afwalo and her friends would receive that information? You would be labeled a misogynist. You would be labeled, all the labels would come out.
Once your man stops correcting you for your mistakes, I'm sorry to tell you that you've lost him. Okay, a man will correct you if he's still interested. But the moment he's no longer correcting you, he's no longer complaining, you have lost him. Ciao.
Women only want to be able to leave the workforce if and when it suits them personally, which unfortunately makes it next to impossible for this to occur as a practical reality. Why? This option is really only possible if her partner is already a significantly above average earner. And this is part of what is driving the out of control hypergamy of modern mate selection. For instance, about 1 in 6 American women today earn over $100,000 a year. That supports a $100,000 a year lifestyle for herself. As a result, she's going to be very reluctant to start a family and raise children with a man who only earns $100,000 a year himself. Why? Well, assuming it costs at least $20,000 a year to raise a child, then that would mean such a man could only provide a $40,000 a year lifestyle for the 2 adults, which is a significant drop relative to the lifestyle to which she had become accustomed. To experience no change in her lifestyle, she would need to hook a man who earned at least $220,000 a year in this scenario. And only about 1 in 30 American men today earn above that threshold. 1 in 30 to 1 in 6. That's a 5-to-1 ratio.
Are you waiting till marriage?
Yes.
Is that like a marketing play?
No, that is genuine. I grew up Christian. Like, my family was very Christian oriented. Like, we went to church every single Sunday. I went to Sunday.
Saying you're a Christian and that you believe in Christ and you're committing the same sin over and over and over again without even trying to fix it, you're just a fraud there. You'll go straight to hell. Christ knows what you're doing and you're just doing all that for money and for clout. Let's see what you're like on the Day of Judgment. Get closer with the Lord by downloading the Avon app. You can ask your questions such as, how can I get closer with the Lord? And it'll give you Bible quotes and continue to ask you questions to help you get one step closer to Christ. Too many fucking frauds in this day and age, there. People think acting a Christian and saying they're Christian, they're gonna get up into heaven. Doesn't work like that, there. Gotta have the teachings of Christ within you. But I'll say it again, wait until the Day of Judgment. Stay woke in these streets. Big brr.
In single boys school, they end up with double the amount of recess time. I equate boys to dogs. A happy dog is a tired dog. And if it's not tired, if it doesn't get to run, it's going to cause trouble. And I feel the same way about boys. So in these schools where they decide what's best for the boys, there's usually more exercise and more free play and more roughhousing. By even acknowledging that men play a critical role in boys' lives a few years ago, that was seen as, what, you mean? What, you're saying moms can't do this? And I can just tell you there are certain moments when my partner needs me to weigh in. I don't know if it's the depth of my voice, my physical size, the way they relate to me, the fact that I'm not, you need dad. Or that's what I found, especially with boys. They need almost like that not physical intimidation, but it's almost like they begin tuning out their mom over time. I mean, they're incredibly close to their mother. They look to her for nurturing. When they really have a problem, I find they go to mom. But they will constantly test the boundaries, constantly. And I think a lot of single mothers, quite frankly, with boys, just can't keep a lid on that kid. They can't control the kid. So, and I think you're finding in schools when there's no male kind of, I don't know, involvement or that I don't know, what I'll call physical presence. And then you add on this DOPA machine that they get used to squeezing a DOPA bag 100 times a day as they need it. And then you take the DOPA bag away, they're just more prone to emotional outbursts.
Well, mom has structure whenever she feels like it. Dad has structure on a consistent basis. So, and I'm not saying this happens and women can't control their environment. I'm just saying men tend to have something already in place and they're not going to mess around with you. Like, hey, this is what it is. And if you don't abide by that, then we're going to have to go to step 2. And I'm willing to go to step 2. It doesn't matter if dad loses step 2 or 3 or whatever. You know that there's something coming behind it, right? There's like, I'm not just coming up here and saying, now listen, buddy, don't do this. I'm saying, hey, listen, buddy, don't do that. Come on, don't do that. Dad loves you. And if you keep it up, then we got to go to step 2. Different methods. People do different things. They discipline their children in different ways. But the fact of the matter is the discipline is going to come. It's on its way, right? Whereas mom might get tired and go to the room and not feel like it. A lot of times men will stand there and kind of say, now what? The fence is going to, well, maybe we can tear it. No, because the woman at some point in time is going to be like, well, maybe we can tear it down. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. He doesn't want to do this, or they don't want to do this, and this. And the man's going to kind of say, well, I'm not aware that I care about what they're going to do. They don't pay no bills here. So this fence is going to stay. What's this? Again, this is my property. I live here. Now I can see if we was out in the middle of the street somewhere or we was in a neutral site, but I live here. This is my stuff. If you want your stuff and you want to tell me how to do whatever I need to do, you tell me what to do, then we can go to your property, but we're on my property. So we're not going to be doing that. And either somebody lines up to it or they get out of line and they decide to do whatever they want to do. But over time, I think men, and it doesn't usually come to that, because men understand and they teach their young boys. Because I know a lot of times people like to say that men are too rough and they're too harsh and they're too strict with their children. But men know how to show love. You can just ask a girl dad. You know, that's the most precious thing to him in the world, and he ain't really ever hard on that girl. You know, he might teach her some hard lessons, but that's still his little girl. So he knows how to love her and show her love, but then also at the same time now say, hey, listen, people are going to do this. So men are always giving young men or young women direction for what they need to do. And they're building in that consistent level of pack leader versus follower. Now, one day you're going to lead your own pack, whether you're a man or a woman. You're going to lead your own pack. Oh, well, women. No, you're going to lead your own pack. When you find you a man, y'all are going to be doing it together. So you're going to need to know how to work with yourself, and then you're going to need to know how to work with him. So I'm going to teach you how to do both. And, you know, I'm going to send you over to your mom for all this other stuff, but I'm going to teach you how to do both. I'm going to teach you what I know. And he builds that camaraderie, he builds that level of respect. He builds that consistency. So the kids know what the boundary is. And as long as they know what the boundary is, he says, okay, you're inside the boundary, go play, right? A lot of parents would give their kids a boundary. Y'all don't go outside this fence, or y'all don't get out in the street and play. And it depends on your age. And the more you grow up, the more that boundary stretches, right? Okay, you guys go out to the park, you play, whatever and whatnot, but y'all need to be home at this certain time. If not, I'm going to come looking for you. And if I got to come looking for you, then we're going to have some problems, right? And I do that for your protection and your safety. That's what men do on a consistent basis. Here's the boundary, all right? When they're riding bikes, they'll do the same thing. Go to the end of the street and come back so I can see you, because you're young and I need to know, and you're on training wheels. So I need to know that you can brake, you can stop, you can turn around and maneuver, and you can get up and go with speed. So I think men over and over again have shown that they bring a certain dynamic to the relationship that a lot of times cannot be replicated by women. And for some modern women, they don't like it and they try to replicate it and they fail miserably.
I'm sorry. If you are a single mother, you need to stop trying to make it a requirement to make a dude provide. I'm sorry. He don't have to pay all the bills for no single mother.
It's not meant to, but this is going to offend you. Ladies, being a single mother is a bad thing to men. Our relationship loses points when it's a single mother that we're locked in with. So you automatically lose some of your dating rights, because damage has already been done to your dating value. Before you became a single mother, you had the right to be pampered. You had the right to a man being faithful. Now, if he cheated a couple of times, yes, express your displeasure, right? Express your disappointment. But you don't have the right to get as angry about it as a woman who has no kids. You came into this relationship with 1, 2, or even 3 strikes against you because of the bad stigma attached to being a single mom, right? And for a man to have to deal with that, you have to sweeten the pot so it's a fair deal. Humble yourself. Be willing to put up with a little bit more than you would have had to if you hadn't came up as a single mom. You guys aren't winning because you're going into relationships expecting the same treatment as a woman who didn't make as bad a life mistakes as you did. If you're willing to sweeten the pot and make a deal that seems more fair, a man will accept you and your circumstances. But when it feels like an unfair contract, that's how we'll treat you. As unpleasant as it is for men to date single mothers, if he's going to, you have to make it seem worth it. By having less mouth, by having less complaints. Because other than that, men look at your baggage and view it as an unfair deal. And if you don't want to negotiate, back to the streets with you. Turbulence, people.
Men will let you down. The heirs for never will.
That is the truest statement I've ever heard. Oh, try not to cry again.
Why is it always men's fault? And why is she crying? Trust, innit mad? Women are listening to her. If your bird likes Taylor Swift, send her back. Stay woke in these streets. Big Britain.